Hello, happy Let's Talk Ticker and Taco Tuesdays. This is Brad Burns, your host. Another episode of Lotek Talks. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge. Hope everyone's having a great week. I know it's the second day of the week for most, but it is the first day of my week. I had one night weekend and it was pretty good. I slept for a good 12 hours after work, which is great for your ticker. It's great for your whole body. And I'd highly suggest as many people as they can get good sleep. Get your sleep. So I'm going to work on doing maybe a weekly theme for all these slip dash high energy low tech talks. So this week we're going to continue on anxiety, which we talked yesterday about the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique and controlling anxiety through use of your senses. So today we'll talk about the effect of what adrenaline does to the body. So you have the adrenergic system, which activates your sympathetic nervous system. Your adrenaline spikes. You have the alpha adrenergic and the beta adrenergic. Alpha basically pulls the distractions away. It gets all the blood away from the vital organs and gets it to the parts that needs it, which is what the beta does. Beta 1 increases the heart rate, beta 2 and the strength of the heart beating, raises your blood pressure so you can get away from that bear. The second pathway of the beta adrenergic system bronchodilates and allows more oxygen to get to the tissues so you can perfuse. And then the third is a neat thing. It increases lipolysis, which increases glucogenesis. It makes glucose more available to the cells because glucose is what makes the body eat and allows it to eat and get energy. Glucose is magnificent. That's why diabetes is such a bitch to people, because insulin not only allows glucose into the body but allows potassium as well, which helps that muscle contraction. And if you can't get potassium in, your potassium starts to just circulate in your body, which it's toxic. It doesn't allow for the repolarization of the muscles, and they just stay tight. They stay tight, contracted, like an overly worked out muscle that has never been stretched, which is very important to stretch. Which is basically what happens when you sleep for your heart, because your heart, throughout the stresses of the day and just constantly, it doesn't stop beating. It doesn't stop squeezing the blood to the rest of your body, to where it needs it, to the heart, to the lungs, to the periphery are your fingers and toes, heads and shoulders. And at night, you go to sleep and your body relaxes. You get good rest and your body recovers. It repairs all that damage. And your heart doesn't like circulating too much blood that doesn't have to. So that the BNP and ANP, the brain natriuretic peptide and the atrial natriuretic peptide, notice that your heart is pushing a little bit of extra fluid that it doesn't need to. So what it does is it dehydrates the legs mostly, and you end up urinating that out. They put it into your bladder to make sure that your blood pressure goes down. So your blood doesn't have to work your heart out so much, and your heart gets a little stretch and a rest as well. That's why even if you've been severely dehydrated, you haven't drank very much water, you're gonna wake up urinating because your body's pulling the water out of your legs. So back to anxiety and the adrenaline spike. Your body, your monkey mind thinks you should breathe a lot faster when you get in a stressful situation. It goes, let's breathe faster. That makes more sense. Harder, better, faster, stronger, more oxygen to the right tissues. But we can get ahead of this in our brain and realize all we really need to do is increase perfusion. We got to get the dissociation of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Yes, split them up and exchange the two. Because having oxygen in your body is not enough. it doesn't mean that you're getting it to the right places or you're exchanging it very well. So a big important part of anxiety is breathing. And to really get into the deeper part of what happens with our heart, we need to realize exercise is very important. And I'm not just saying that so we don't get big and fat, which is important because every pound of body fat is another 7,000 miles of blood vessels to innervate, which is insane to think about for 1 pound. And it's yellow inside of you. It's gross. The adipose tissue, it's gross looking. But the main thing is when you exercise, you vasodilate. You open up those vasculature spaces, and that allows better perfusion. It allows the exchange. And the big reason I'm saying we need to exercise regularly is not just for that daily benefit, but for that benefit for when there's a stressful event in your life, something happens, family member gets freaked out, and you have to actually deal with that adrenaline spike. Your body will know a little bit better what to do with it, because these moments, these stressful moments in life, are where people end up having heart attacks because your body vasoconstricts, it raises your blood pressure, speeds your heart rate up, and you weren't ready for it. You haven't been ready for it. You haven't been practicing. And I'm not saying train like you're going to do a marathon, but train to let your body know what this stressful feeling feels like, because the best thing to do at the beginning of an adrenaline dump is nothing. You need to think. You need to breathe and control yourself, because there's 4 reactions: fight, flight, freeze, or foul. And those last 2 are not very good evolutionarily protecting us. But to freeze for a moment and to decide fight or flight, that is important. And with that, I'll leave you. Thank you for listening. Another episode of Let Ourselves Translate Expert Knowledge with your host, Brad Burns. Let ourselves have some tacos. Let's talk tickers on Taco Tuesdays. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.